This video starts with footage from 9:14 a.m. on Thursday the 12th of October 2023. Now the reason I say that is because I usually skip out a lot of my day when I start to edit a partial vlog for this, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to include my breakfast just so that you can see how I woke up and got started. So that's how my day started. Following that, I knew that I needed to get all of the boards that I cut up and primed in the previous video. I had to get those with a ground. Now, anyone who doesn't know what a ground is, it's the colour that you can lay down on a primed canvas or board or whatever you're painting on. It can be paper. You know, if you put down a colour to be the background that you build your image on top of, that's called a ground colour. It's the bit which sits on top of the whites. The white is the prime, and then you give it a ground colour on top of that. And that's what I was doing in this this part of the video this morning. And I had some trouble with the paint, and basically it squirted all over my face, and you can't really see it, but it's just kind of like speckles, and then it's on my trousers, it's on my desk. I tried to work quite clean, so that was humorous, but there we are, that happens. And I just ended up unscrewing the cap and then getting a jar of water, wetting the brush and using the cap. I'll probably need to buy another one of these soon, because it seems like the seal isn't significant enough to keep that fresh. But there we are, that is that's what I was working with. But the ground got done. I think all the boards look good, and they are now ready to take out for plein air painting. Okay, this video is a little bit out of order time wise. I'm going to put this first in the video. It's currently 1:05 on, what would it be, Thursday 12th of October 2023, and I am driving to Conway to go and meet a couple of friends. I mentioned it either in yesterday's vlog or the day before, I can't remember, but I mentioned it in a vlog recently because one of those things that was on my to-do list, and it's catching up with a friend who has been supporting me by visiting my exhibition and coming to a workshop, and someone who I've just kept in touch with since university, and another friend who's supporting me by being a patron on my Patreon channel and by being a friend and a current viewer and commenter on my videos, and just a good person as well, both artists. And I'm meeting both of them today. So that was what I discussed, I think it was yesterday, that I thought I will have to remember to reach out and arrange a catch-up. So that's the plan today. I arrive in Conway and get walking towards where I'm meeting up with some friends, and it's always a beautiful place to visit. If you haven't been to Conway, I highly recommend it. It's a lovely place and people seem really friendly when you get there. In my experience anyway, I've always experienced people being kind and friendly, and it's just a lovely environment. And I decide to sit down whilst I wait for my friends and draw the castle from a distance, and I brought a folded up piece of paper and a couple of pens with me just in case I have this type of opportunity, and I'm always glad that I do, because I won't do it whilst I'm sat with company. I won't just sit there and draw, but if I have to wait, sometimes it's just easier to take advantage of the opportunity and practice a bit of a drawing. So what I do is I try to use the highest points of the towers coming off the castle to measure from others, and other different levels. So all the vertical and horizontal markers is what I'm using to try and work out where things should sit. I meet up with Mike and Gwen, and Mike has his lovely dog with him, which I believe he was calling River, who's noisy, but so is Mike at the same time. They like to play with each other, and it was really fun to see them interact, but also just to have a nice chat with Mike and Gwen. I do really love them too. They're great people, and they're both really good artists, so it was a lovely chat to try and cover certain things that we're updating each other with, as far as where our lives are. We're all making art and at different places in our lives in the art making process, and trying to learn and grow and get ourselves out there a little bit more, which is, it's just nice to share sometimes. It means a lot. Now, after that, Gwen and I depart from Mike and go and pop into the Royal Cambrian Academy to go and have a look at the exhibition there. And there is some lovely ceramic work and some ink drawings on the wall. So I tried to film little bits of that. Really enjoyed it. Really nice stuff. But also there was some photographs in another room, and I captured just a little bit of those down the stairway. And then I'm just obsessed with capturing images from the town, because you can see how beautiful it is. It's really just a nice place to visit and walk around. And a lot of these photographs I'm probably going to use as either painting or drawing reference in the future. And it's always an inspirational environment to wander around, and a lovely day and visit to experience and spend time just enjoying, really. So I'm glad to have caught up with Mike and Gwen. It's always lovely, and there's not loads of time these days, but you'll have heard, if you've been keeping up with the Inktober and vlogs, that's what I've been wanting to do, so I'm glad I got to do that. I am now walking back to my car. It's been a lovely visit, seeing a couple of friends. I've got a video to edit and a drawing to finish, so it's time to get that done. Even though I'd already done a drawing today, I felt like I should get down an Inktober specific image, and I decided today is the day to do drawing with both hands, which I have been practicing bits and pieces, but only on a piece of A4 and only one face. So I thought today I'm going to push myself a little bit harder, and I'm going to try and do several faces. I didn't really think of how many it would be. I was going to try and just cover the page top to bottom, left to right with different faces, but that's more difficult than you might think. You might not. You might just think, yeah, that's not easy. You can't just do that simply. And I couldn't. I really felt that I would be able to, because I draw from imagination quite often. And I thought drawing with both hands has been fun, and it really makes me want to draw faces from imagination. So I'll be interested to see how many different personalities will come out of this exercise. And as much as I do enjoy it, it's quite hard work, and I do have to concentrate on what's happening with my left hand because I'm right-handed, and I want the faces to work to an extent. I don't want it to just be an excuse where I can say, well, it was, drawing with my left hand as well, which I'm not left-handed. I wanted it to be a decent enough drawing anyway, which it's a strange drawing because it's a collage of imaginary faces. It's an exercise at trying to improve upon ambidextrous drawing, which I am committed to doing more and more often. But it's a bit of a party trick. I've mentioned this before. It's not functional in any way outside of the spectacle of it, and it's not practical really. But I do like the idea of strengthening my left hand. I don't know if drawing with both hands is strengthening my left hand. Maybe I should start drawing more just with my left hand. Maybe that'll be some point this month will be one of the drawings, or maybe a couple will be with my left hand to see what happens. It'll just be a slower drawing. That's usually what happens, if I'm perfectly honest, is that I just can't make decisions. I can make decisions fairly fast, but I can't execute them as fast because I don't have the dexterous movement and control with my left hand that I do with my right. It just isn't trained to swivel and flick the pen out in directions like my right hand is used to doing in order to achieve certain marks. And I'm not especially good at doing that with my right hand. So anyway, the point being, I enjoy doing this type of drawing, but it's not always going to result in something which is a masterpiece. So you'll have to forgive me for the results of this, even though I've tried to make something which is interesting and worth watching. But I don't know if it is. You'll have to tell me in the comments if this is being interested and worth watching. If anything, I feel like the first drawing I did of the castle is probably better, but I felt like that wasn't going to be my Inktober drawing because that was literally 10 minutes, I think, that I did that castle sketch. Just quickly sat there and sketched that down, and I saw Mike and Gwen arrive and just gave them the 1 minute sign from a distance saying I'll be with you in 1 minute. I just wanted to finish off what I'd been doing. There was loads of school kids around as well screaming, so I just thought this is a nice distraction from the noise and anything that's going on. Instead, I just keep my head down and draw, and either one of the kids may look over and go, drawing, yeah, I forgot I enjoy drawing. I just like the idea that without even seeing what I'm doing, just to see that I'm drawing can maybe make a kid go, I do that. I draw like that. That's something which I didn't realise you can just sit out and do. Maybe they already know that, but I love the idea that it could have happened if I was young, seeing someone out sketching and just think, that seems like fun. Maybe you could go and do that. They're not being bothered. They're not scared of drawing in public. I don't know. Maybe it's all that someone needs. I think that urban sketching is quite fun. This was a really quick sketch, and I don't really care too much if people come up and say that's not very good, because I have had negative comments before, and I always find them quite encouraging because you don't get criticism that often. So to get that, I kind of embrace it really. But then again, negativity isn't a good thing. I don't know how to explain it. It's just something which makes me want to improve, not for that person, but for the fact that I partly agree that I'm never massively impressed with what I'm doing. I always feel like I'm falling short. And it's the same with this. As much as I'm pushing and it's a bit of a trick shot with the both hands, it is what it is. I think it's just fun as an exercise, and at least there's loads of interesting faces.